Welcome to the Weisenberg Perspective. Always our pleasure to welcome in the icon, the legend, Harvey Weisenberg. So thrilled that he's part of the show. And the winds of change are blowing in Long Beach, Harvey. We have new people elected to City Council. But like we mentioned in the opening, Elizabeth Treston, who's been an advocate for people with disabilities, being in a wheelchair herself, she was one of the people elected. I know you're very, very close friends with David Paterson, former governor who's blind. So talk about, just in generalities, how wonderful it is to see people with disabilities get elected and open the doors for others with great accomplishments, and especially right here in Long Beach.
Well, again, listen, we're all in God's hands. And I guess there's a plan, our lives are going to go individually. But when people think that people with disabilities, that means that it's like a bad word, disabled. They're not really disabled, they're challenged. Everybody has challenges in their life, and being a parent and an advocate for families and children with disabilities. And you know, they gave me a title up in Albany, and I was elected official, for those who don't know, for 25 years in Albany. And being a parent of a special child who I could never speak, cry, and is blind, but gives love, and the love that he gives, how he, even though he can't speak or cry and is blind, changed people's lives. It's the love that he has given in his life, and he's changed people's lives, and that's what's happened to other people who are challenged. But you don't look at people who have any kind of a challenge or a disability. You look at what they can do, not what they can't do. And the geniuses that have come to view, just because they might have a physical disability or a mental disability, if you look at autism, you have Asperger's disease, they're geniuses in some respects. And they fundamentally can't function in others. But that's the way God put us here. But there's so many people who have risen to go very greatly, not only in government, but in life. And we don't want to go through an agenda of all the people who are disabled and show their success. But the fact that Long Beach, Elizabeth in Long Beach here, has been an advocate for people. She is disabled in a wheelchair, challenged, but it didn't stop her from being an advocate for others and being a voice of those who have no voice or don't have an opportunity to be heard. And she's a model for this because her success. She just won an election in Long Beach. And she's a beautiful lady, intelligent lady, and most important, a caring person. We need more people like this to be in government. It's not about power and money, it's about love and caring about doing the right things where people help people. So it's going to be very successful for her sitting on that council this coming year in January with new people who have been elected. The voice of the people were heard. The history of what has taken place in the last couple of years was tainted, and the reality is the people spoke. And now we have 3 new people that are going to be sitting on that council, and we look for the change that people voted for, that they desire to move forward and to try to help people from our community to be have a quality of life that everybody is entitled to. We're challenged in our city because we're lucky. Jimmy Conlon, who's in a wheelchair, he had an injury, and he was just an unbelievable advocate. Working together with Jimmy, I just want to share this. We ended up with curb cuts on every street in Long Beach. I don't know any other community that has the resources for people who are challenged or disabled better than Long Beach. We have curb cuts on everything. We have a modified boardwalk ramp so people can get on there. We had surf chairs that family in a wheelchair can go into a surf chair and go down into the beach with their families on the beach on the sand, and even into the water a little bit and be with their families. I had a lady who had 5 children in Point Lookout, and she had 5 little kids. And in the summer, of course, with a beach community and a swimming community, her 5 children went down with her husband, and they played in the water on their water boards, and she was stuck at home. So I ended up being a lifeguard myself and reading a magazine where they have surf chairs. Chairs that have an umbrella, big tires, and if you take a person out of a wheelchair and put them in a surf chair, they can be down on that beach. And we surprised this lady, and I want to share this with you because it'll make you smile. When we gave her the surf chair, we surprised her. And that following weekend, the first weekend, went down to Point Lookout to see this lady with her children and her family. And they were on their surfboards, their little float boards, all around her chair in the ocean. And I said, if you really want to have a smile, that's what happiness is all about. And we ended up getting them a Camp Anchor, and I bought them a Camp Anchor in the city of Long Beach. So look at all the resources that are made available by city and people who are elected in government to be able to advocate and prioritize what's really important for all people. We have a surfing program in Long Beach that I started 20 years ago with the Scooten family, and Izzy Peskowitz was a national surfing champ, and he had a child, a young man with autism, and he was on a surfboard, and we went to Reese Park, and I saw this young man with his father on a surfboard, and I said, that's amazing, look at that. I just looked at that child's eyes when he caught a wave, and his eyes opened up, and you see the expression on his face. I said, this is amazing. The next year, we started it in Long Beach, and 20 years later, 23 years later, we have not a few people, not 100 people, but hundreds of people that are having an opportunity to learn how to save. And we again say, I mean, talk about disabilities. We have people without limbs, and arms or legs, but they're all on surfing. They're all smiling. Their family is smiling. There's happiness with the volunteers that participate, the Scooten family for all that they do and set up, that we bring happiness not only, as I said, to volunteers, family members, and the people that are surfing. It's an amazing life experience, and that's because people are thinking about what opportunities our kids can do or people can do, not what they can't do. And if I'm not taking time to say this, but I mean David Patterson, who was a governor of the state of New York, legally blind, but an amazing, a genius. He made speeches for 40 minutes. Never had to read them, couldn't see. But he spoke, and he was eloquent and brilliant, and he was very popular and loved. And he was successful in his time as the governor of the state of New York. But these are examples that are models, and Elizabeth from Long Beach is now going to be a model, because anybody who has any kind of a disability is going to be very proud to see somebody who is in government that is going to be caring more about people than power and politics that is existing today at every level of government. So I think Long Beach is fortunate. The people that have just won their election are all good people who care about the city, and I hope that they will communicate and work together. Politics takes over government. We don't have government. In Long Beach, we're going to have government. We have 3 new people that are going to be in there working together, and I hope that we'll have the success we need in order to bail us out of the terrible economic condition that exists. And I tell you, and one thing I can say about Long Beach, and I've been here my whole life, is that everybody here, in any kind of crisis situation, works together. This city is still full of love, and we still are a model for the rest of this country and the rest of this state, because we do things here that are unheard of. Like, I want you to know, Super Bowl Sunday, the Polar Bear Club. Look at that shirt. I'm going to ask you, did you go in the water?
Absolutely.
See that?
And like many other years, I went in the water, I bought the shirt, donated to the Polar Bears and Make-A-Wish, and then I watched my Patriots win in the Super Bowl. So it was a wonderful day.
Yeah, but I'm going to take it a step further, because nobody is going to believe this, but the Guinness Record Book will say it. And one day we made $600,000 for Make-A-Wish. And I guess about the 13th or maybe even the 20th year coming up. But we've been doing it for so long. But I'll tell you, when you have 10,000 people on a Super Bowl Sunday, and I tell you, one year it was only 6 degrees. And I do it every year. I say, if I'm going to die, I want to do it my way. But anyway, It was 6 degrees out, it was freezing, but we went in and you come out, and the only thing that bothered me, and I share this with you, and for those who are first gonna try, is that your feet hurt and they burn from the cold water, but I'll tell you, the rest of your body is warm, you're smiling, and it's a happy day. It's a day of success and happiness.
Absolutely.
Well, one more thing I'd like to say, because we had the volleyball tournament. We had hundreds of people.
Michelle O'Neill Foundation
Michelle O'Neill.
raises so much money for kids with
Hundreds of
cancer.
thousands of dollars
Labor
for
Day.
children with cancer. So that's what Long Beach is all about. And you can probably come out here on any weekend, and we're gonna have a race or a run on the boardwalk to raise money for not-for-profit agencies. So the city of Long Beach provides resources for all people. And that's what makes Long Beach the greatest city that you're gonna find. We're the greatest city on Long Island. I mean, there's only one other, and they're pretty good too, Bengal.
Yeah.
But Long Beach is outstanding. We have a national reputation, and I'm very proud to say, you know, I was privileged to be a person here that lived here my whole life, and had the opportunity to be in government for 38 years. And my mission, and I had the title, I'm the voice of those who had no voice, that was given to me in Albany. And I can tell you the successes, how we help give quality of life, decency, respect, and a safe environment as best as we can get for people with disabilities. So I thank God every day.
Absolutely, Harvey. Before we let you go, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about what the great veterans mean to you, and some of the great veterans you've met right here in Long Beach over the years.
Well, being a kid, growing up here, I remember when they used to fire the guns, and we used to try to grab the shells that came out of the guns after the parades. And then in Lindell High School, when we were in school there, in the back wall in Lindell School, with those people who died in the line of duty, serving our country. And then there were people and families that we knew. And I won't go through the names, but it was meaningful because when somebody that you know in a family that you know lost a son, I lost friends in Korea, I lost friends and people that I knew in the war. And when you take a look and you see what people have gone through to protect the freedoms that we have, and the veterans, all you have to do is go to veterans hospitals and to see who's still there, because they gave as best they could everything, their heart, their body, and their lives to provide what we have in this country that the rest of the world is envious of. And it's kind of sad, because it just seems that we don't learn. And what I'm saying is, when I'm talking about learning, I'm talking about nobody wins in war. All we do is sacrifice lives, and what the hell? The more I think about it, the more it upsets me, because I'm saying, well, if you look back, our worst enemies in this war, in World War II, Japan and Germany. Our greatest allies now are Japan and Germany. And what happened to all those people that were fighting for property? Get that hill. Get out there. We have to conquer this hill. And then the people in the services, then they say, okay, let's give up the hill. And then they would have to go back and get it again. And people were dying and getting wounded. And I'm really thinking about, you know, before you're going to go to the war, I think you ought to think about the fact that the sacrifices we had, it just isn't worth it. I just wish that more people would understand human life, dignity, and respect. We're adults, and I'm concerned we're the human race. Most intelligent? I doubt it. I think we can learn from the animals what the values are, how they take care of their families, how they only kill something to eat it, but they don't go out and kill each other. So that's a message. The Veterans Day is a day that we should honor every veteran in any way, in every way that we can. God bless them, because we're enjoying the health and safety that we have because of the sacrifices so many men and women made for themselves, for our country.
Very well said. Thank you, Harvey Weisenberg. And that is the Weisenberg Perspective.